look at the raid at Mar-a-Lago, and I'm trying to remember, maybe someone here can remind me about when they did a search warrant at Hillary's house in Chappaqua. And I do remember them manufacturing a false conspiracy theory about Russia collusion. I remember that. I remember a lawyer for the FBI got caught doctoring an application for FISA surveillance against an innocent man. I remember the FBI at Merrick Garland's direction being sicked on parents going to school board meetings. They're enforcing the law based on who they like and who they don't like. It's Florida law that nobody has to choose between a job they need and a jab they don't want. And I'm like, what? I don't care. I'm going to do what's right. But now CDC even has changed their guidance. And if you have taken this because of a mandate and you have been injured, you should be able to sue and get damages. November 8th, 2022 is going to be the day that America fights back. We're going to be fighting back against Joe Biden's failed leadership. We're going to be fighting back against lockdown politicians all over this country who ruin people's lives. And we're going to be fighting back against a failed Congress, which will result in the retirement of Nancy Pelosi. And I really anticipate that the state of Florida will be the one to get the election wave off the ground. I think that wave will come across the country. And when it reaches Arizona, it's going to result in the people here sending Blake Masters to the U.S. Senate. And it will result in electing Kari Lake as your next governor. We all get on the same team, and we make sure we're united going against the Democrats. Why? Because the stakes, unfortunately, in every election now just seem to be so high. I think back to a debate that the Founding Fathers actually had, and the debate was between Benjamin Rush, Thomas Jefferson, and Benjamin Franklin. The debate was about what was the world's oldest profession. And Benjamin Rush was a doctor, so he said the world's oldest profession is the physician because Eve was cut out of Adam's rib. Thomas Jefferson said, well, and Jefferson had designed Monticello and he'd done a lot of other things. He said, no, the world's oldest profession is the architect, because it was the architect that brought order out of all the chaos in the universe. And Benjamin Franklin said, well, you're both wrong. The world's oldest profession is the politician. Who do you think created the chaos in the first place? The fact of the matter is, when leftist government takes hold, society flounders. Crime goes up. They release people back on the street. They don't prosecute. You have homeless. You have drugs. You have higher taxes. Everything you can think of, they destroy their communities. We were not going to let our state descend into some type of Faucian dystopia. And we were criticized for that at the time because they said that, oh, this is something CDC wants to mandate. And I'm like, what? I don't care. I'm going to do what's right. But now CDC even has changed their guidance. And they're saying no difference in treatment between a vax and unvax. This Democrat is very woke. This is a very, very leftist Democrat. And here's the thing. They're going to be very quiet until November. But if you put them in power, they will restrict you. They will mandate you. And they may even lock you down again. That could absolutely happen. So you cannot trust them with power. And you got to make sure you're electing people that respect your freedoms and respect your rights. I got elected to stand up for people. I can take the hits. I'm fine. My job is to protect the jobs of the people that I represent. And if standing for the right thing, standing for their rights, standing for their livelihood meant that it didn't work out for me politically and then I lost my job, well, then so be it. That's the price of leadership. And I'm proud to say that the state of Florida has done very well over the last couple years. We have outpaced the nation on virtually every economic metric that you can think of. Better jobs, better growth. Obviously, we have a lot of wealth moving into the state. If you compare how we run our budget to how the federal government runs theirs or these blue states, there's no comparison. The state of Florida has 3 million more people than New York State. And yet New York's budget is over twice the size of our budget. And we do all of that with no state income tax. The year that just ended June 30th, the top line of the budget was $102 billion. Our surplus was $22 billion, the largest in the history of the state of Florida. Florida was the citadel of freedom for people. We've seen in this country a massive exodus of people out of blue states and into states like Arizona, Texas, but Florida being number one. American exodus has viewed Florida as the promised land. We've led the nation in migration over the last 3 years. We've had more wealth move into Florida than any state has ever seen in the history of the United States. You can talk about economy, you can talk about all these other things that are important. If you don't have public safety, it all really unravels very quickly. The number one cause of death for people 18 to 45 is overdose from fentanyl. Where is the fentanyl getting into our country? You can't say that, oh, the immigration is just the federal government's job. Okay, if they did the job, but this is the law, they're not enforcing it, and they're trying to say that states can't do anything to defend their people.
You're a disease, and I'm the cure.